What will I encounter on my reading journey in July of 2026? Space pirates that threaten every civilized world in the galaxy, and one man is all that stands between chaos and destruction. A magical small town in the summer of 1928, where a 12-year-old boy experiences the vast and deep world that lies beyond the city limits. A sleepy English village where the children, born of human women, are aliens. A far, far distant future where Earth's sun is dying and the planet has stopped spinning, and the remaining people are less than insects. That and much more await me. Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and for the third year in a row, I will be celebrating Michael K. Vaughan's great event, Rocket Summer. Rocket Summer is a celebration of classic science fiction. I will be joined by a number of co-hosts. Richard at Vintage Science Fiction, Scott at The Wild Digest, Gareth, Book Songs and Other Magic, Gavin, Genre Reads, Randy Ray, The Literate Texan, and Brandy, the Booklectic. We will all be celebrating classic science fiction, and we all hope that more people will read classic science fiction in the month of July. There are prompts for this event, but you don't exactly have to follow the prompts. It is just a guideline. Now, Michael K. Vaughan set this event up for classic science fiction, and that is essentially the beginnings of science fiction through 1969. And each week we will have a prompt. Week 1 is science fiction from the beginnings through 1939, and week 2 is science fiction from the 40s to 49. Week 3 is 1950 to 1959, and week 4 is 1960 to 1969. The 30s was the pulp era and the birth of modern science fiction. The 40s was the golden age of science fiction. The 50s had expansion and anxiety, and the 60s, the new wave came around, and also literary science fiction. And all you have to do to celebrate Rocket Summer is read some science fiction in those eras. That's all you have to do. So what are the possibilities for my reading list in Rocket Summer 2026? I want to focus very heavily on reading some short stories. I am on a different project of my own where I am reading a short story every day. So I am going to focus most of the month on the Science Fiction Hall of Fame, Volume 1, edited by Robert Silverberg. This collection is almost perfect for Rocket Summer. It has like 28 or 29 short stories, so I can fill almost every day with just this collection. And the collection starts with A Martian Odyssey by Stanley Weinbaum, published in the 30s, and ends with A Rose for Ecclesiastes, published or written by Roger Zelazny and published in the 60s. In between, you have other great stories from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So this will make a bulk of what I am reading for Rocket Summer. Curiously enough, one of the short stories in this book is Arena by Frederick Brown. Frederick Brown's short story was turned into an episode of Star Trek, also called Arena. That short story, it was by James Blish, was published in 1968. So I'm going to read the original short story, Arena, by Frederick Brown, and then read the novelization or the storyfication of Arena in this collection of Star Trek short stories. I will need to round out my short stories from another collection. I might take them from this one, The Roads to Science Fiction, from Heinlein to here, Volume 3. Most of this volume is focused on the 70s, so a little bit out of the range of Rocket Summer, but I may be able to get one or two short stories out of that. Otherwise, I will just go to my collections on my Kindle of the Golden Age of Science Fiction. You can pick up a lot of Golden Age science fiction short stories for your Kindle or your Kobo for either 99 cents or $1.99. So that will cover me for short stories. I do want to read a few other books scattered around Rocket Summer. I probably won't follow every weekly prompt for the books, but some of the books that I may want to read are Galactic Patrol by E. Doc Smith. I am sadly lacking in ever having read E. Doc Smith, and last year I said I was going to read one of his books, and I didn't. So this year it's Galactic Patrol. I think I'm going to go to Audible and download the book and read it that way. I'm also going to buddy read Dandelion Wine by Ray Bradbury, a novel published in the 50s. Ray Bradbury is, of course, one of America's greatest science fiction authors. However, Dandelion Wine may not exactly be science fiction, even though it is one of his most beloved novels. So since he is a great science fiction author, I'm just going to look the other way when I read Dandelion Wine and say it just fits with Rocket Summer because the author is Ray Bradbury. As a buddy read with Gavin from Genre Books, I'm going to be rereading The Midwich Cuckoos, another novel from the 50s, and this is about a small town in England whose all women become pregnant one day after being sealed under a strange dome. This is just a classic of a mid-century science fiction, and it's a really enjoyable read to boot. To round off Rocket Summer, I want to read The Long Afternoon of Earth by Brian Aldiss. This book is sometimes published as The Hot House or just Hot House, depending on the edition that you have. It was originally published in the 60s. Aldiss was often a very experimental science fiction author. I don't know if this is very experimental or not, but it is set in the far distant future. The sun is dying. It never rises, never sets, on an earth that has long since ceased to spin. Half the earth is in perpetual shadow. On the other half, where it is always afternoon, a handful of humans struggle for an existence against a creeping green horror that has devoured all other animal life. Men who have never seen the stars, less than insects on a planet they once ruled. Really sounds fascinating. Okay, those are my plans for Rocket Summer 2026. I hope a lot of people will join us and read some classic science fiction. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.